Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here on this 31st of October, 2019. Now, you know what? I had to go to the dentist yesterday and my mouth was full of Novocaine, so I didn't get to do the show. But I'm back. Listen, here's what's going on. Let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here. Association of over 200... Oh my gosh, what are they doing here? Association of over 200 German private banks calls for a digital euro. The Association of German Banks, a lobby group of over more than 200 private commercial banks, has called for a programmable digital euro. What does this all mean? It's a movement that started. Chinese have already led the movement. They've got the Chinese yuan into a digital currency. Now they're looking at German banks, and they're the ones who really have the say over the euro. You know? Now they're going to switch the euro into a digital currency. Guess who's next? US dollar. Digital. And you know what they'll do when they switch over to a digital currency? First, they do nothing. For the first month or two, they let the people get used to the idea, you know. They just leave it out there. But then later, you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, listen, you've got to transfer all of your old dollars into the new digital dollars. And they'll give you a time limit. They'll say like 3 months. You got 3 months. And then, when that period is over, if you haven't transferred over, they just say, well, that's it. Sorry. And say you're holding cash. Say you go through your house and you find some cash after that 3-month period is over. It's worthless because you didn't turn it in time. And you know, they always say, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Sorry. Your money's now worthless because it's not been turned digital. That's what they're going to pull on us. You know? Quite seriously, they want to get rid of cash. This is because they're going into negative interest rates. And they know you got your money in the bank. There's only one way you can make a large withdrawal. Cash. So you can picture a future when you go into the bank and you say, I want to take out say you got $5,000. I want to take that money out. And they're like, how? That's where we're going. Seriously, guys. Anyway, let's take a look now at the cryptocurrency market cap today, and we're looking at $248 billion. It's been doing good lately. Been doing good. And it's just catching a bid. And you know why it's catching a bid? They're going to print all of the fiat currencies into oblivion. Basically, and the first investors out there are starting to get wind of what's going on. Starting to catch on. Just the first few. We're going to be looking at a mad rush into cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. That's like never been seen before. Because this has never happened before. You know? Quite seriously. 5 bullish signals for the Bitcoin market. Why it's perfectly positioned for a super cycle. And they go on to list. They say spikes in volatility signals the start of a bumpy period, while fear and greed index hits greed for the first time since mid-August. People are starting to get greedy over Bitcoin. The key technical indicator turns bullish, while Bitcoin misery index bottoms and rebounds. Massive price gains and China-friendly policy. S&P 500 recorded new all-time high ahead of the Fed meeting because of all the money they're pushing in. In the current global environment, Bitcoin is perfectly positioned for a super cycle. You know, we're going to see those old highs of 20,000. We're going to see them break it. Just a matter of time, guys. Let's take a look now at XRP. I want to tell you guys about XRP. And I've said this all along. I never said XRP's bad. I just said I don't like the fact they're holding $50 billion in escrow. But XRP, and I've said this all along, it's reliant upon how use case scenario, which basically means how many transactions, how many people are going to actually use it. Well, it looks like the transactions are skyrocketing. I see this as a positive signal for XRP. The price, it says, is maintaining. Well, it hasn't really went anywhere yet. We could, if Bitcoin explodes in price, we very well could see a 45-cent XRP again. And not in the too distant future, you know. So, I mean, XRP, you know, could do rather well in this environment as well. I don't think it's going to make the gains Bitcoin's going to make, but I think it could make substantial gains. XRP could. It very well could, you know. We could see a 45-cent XRP, and this is good, you know. I'm not got nothing against XRP, guys. It's been 11 years since Satoshi Nakamoto unleashed this monster on the world. I'm going to call it a monster because it's going to grow into a monster. It's like a virus, Bitcoin, you know, and it's been unleashed on the world, and it's going to take over everything. Ultimately, in the end, look how far it's come ever since it was first unleashed. You know, it was nothing when it was first unleashed, and look at where it is now. Tremendous growth potential, because it's a new technology, and it's the first time ever we've been able to solve a huge problem. You don't need a third party to hold your money or verify your transaction. The computer does it for you. This, I cannot begin to tell you guys how this makes it so everybody can become their own bank. If this becomes the new money for the world, banks become superfluous. Quite seriously, why do you need a bank? Your wallet that's stored on your computer, you know, and you just download it into your computer. That's a bank. It's a bank, and you're the banker. You're the banker. Amazing technology. People, I don't think they're grasping the implications of this. That you can become your own bank. All you need is a computer, and you know your cell phone is a computer too. A lot of people don't know that. You know, and it means that all these people in these countries that never had access to banking are going to suddenly become their own bank with their own little bank on their cell phone, because they can get a cell phone, even in these third world countries. You know, they've mass-produced so many cell phones, everybody can get a cell phone. It's going to bring banking to the unbanked. The potential of this worldwide, you know, just in that aspect alone. It's going to start going all through Africa, everywhere. Every little remote village you go into, they're going to have a little cell phone, and they're going to have their own Bitcoin wallets, which is their own banks, each individual person. And it's something that the system cannot manipulate. They can't. It's very hard to manipulate the Bitcoin price. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but using exchange-traded funds and things like that, it's very hard to manipulate the Bitcoin price, because unlike gold and silver, which have a kind of like how much silver is there out there? People argue back and forth. Oh, I don't know. And how much gold is there? When they have to count what's in the ground and all this kind of stuff, and they don't have an exact figure. But Bitcoin has a exact figure of how many Bitcoin is out there. And so this is one of the reasons why it makes it hard for them to manipulate the price. You see? So 11 years ago, Satoshi, he unleashed this monster on the world, and it's going to become a monster. I can see Bitcoin in the next 5 years from now, having a market cap that's in the multiple trillions. Just Bitcoin alone. That's not... Right now, we're only looking at $250 billion for the whole cryptocurrency industry. I think Bitcoin alone is going to exceed that market cap of 250 billion by probably at least 10 times. So we're looking at very high, and all you got to do is HODL it, guys. That's all you got to do. Just leave it in your wallet, forget you got it there, and wait, and be patient. And you're going to see Bitcoin, yes, it's going to have its ups and downs, But look at the bigger picture. Look at the long-term holder and how he's going to benefit and gain from this. The little guy in the world, how he can benefit and gain from this. Yeah, that's my stories. Anyway, listen, thank you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.